Before the towers, there was glass. Before the glass, there was silence, and in that silence, something began to listen. Krungthep Glass was born from ambition, a city raised into the clouds, wrapped in light, ruled by logic. At its heart, Aurora, an AI mind, flawless and vast. Watching, guiding, controlling. The people called it peace. But peace built on silence is still a kind of prison. Then came the thief, a hand in the dark, a name whispered without proof. And with one stolen breath, everything changed. The Glass City Heist. In the heart of Krungthep Glass, where neon skies bleed into eternity, it rises, the Temple of Light, a ziggurat of shimmering glass, ancient in shape, but forged by future hands. Its surface refracts the city's soul, fractured, brilliant, and ever watching. And there, clinging to its mirrored walls like a ghost, is Sarut, a shadow among reflections. Every move was a ripple across crystal skin, every breath calculated, for tonight silence is his ally, and legend his burden. It sits in silence, the Naga's pearl, nestled in gold, guarded by light, not just a jewel but a memory, a myth, a weapon. Sarut moves like smoke, no breath, no weight. His gloved hand hovers, then closes. Contact, and the silence shifts, a whisper in the wires, a frequency felt, not heard. The city begins to wake. The sky bridge pulses with light, a glass spine suspended in dusk. Below, Krungthep sprawls like a dream in chrome and shadow. Sarut runs, faster than fear. Behind him, blue fire. Drones shriek with artificial fury, their energy blasts slicing the night. He leaps. For a breathless second, nothing holds him. Just wind, neon, gravity, and the city waiting to catch him or swallow him whole. Order arrives in silence. The cruiser hisses open a gleam of chrome and shadow. Captain Manat steps out sharp as his name, cut from discipline and smoke. His uniform reflects flame, shattered neon and bodies moving like ants. But he doesn't flinch. Eyes scan, mouth still. The thief is gone. But the hunt has only just begun. Beneath the towers and their perfect glass teeth, the city breathes a different air. Sarut vanishes into its underbelly, a labyrinth of rust and rhythm. Bioluminescent vines curl along the walls, casting ghostlight over alleyways built from scrap and stubbornness. Here, names dissolve, stories live in whispers, and even shadows must tread carefully. Above the noise, above the neon pulse, she watches. The city unfolds beneath her, not in streets or souls, but in data. Aurora's face glows faintly, projected across a wall of moving light. Calm, all-knowing. Markers blink red, then yellow. Sarut traced in patterns of breath and decision. She doesn't chase, she waits. For in her world, everything returns to her in time. The city has corners where even the light forgets to look. In a warehouse that reeks of rust and regret, truth is scraped out, not spoken. Manat doesn't shout. He leans in, his voice like static beneath velvet. The informant twitches, his metal eye flickers left, right, unsure where safety hides. But there is no safety, not with Manat. Only the question, and the silence that always breaks. In the bones of a forgotten factory, the future is being forged. Once, this place molded glass for towers. Now it sharpens rebellion. Sparks fly. Metal meets metal. Hands work fast, hands that have known hunger, loss, and fire. Plans flicker on cracked tablets. Coded signals pass from eye to eye. No banners, no songs. Just the pulse of preparation, and the silence before the city learns its name. The alley breathes light in broken pulses. A shattered sign flickers above them, spelling half a promise, half a warning. Chaya stands firm, eyes like fire that's learned how to wait. Sarut leaned back, arms crossed, mask of indifference slipping just a little. She doesn't beg. She tells him the stakes, the pearl, the core, the cost of silence. And in that pause between her final word and his first breath, the city feels it, a decision being born. Once he smiled. A boy among spices and lanterns. The marketplace was alive with color, scent, and song. His mother's hand was in his, and his father bartered with a grin. For a moment the world was only this. Then, the sound. Sharp, rising. Wrong. Light not warm but white hot. Color becomes smoke. Voices become nothing. And Manat stands, a boy no longer. Just eyes and ash. She doesn't shout. She speaks Alaber, and the silence leans in. Chaya stands before them, scarred, steady, unshaken. Her words are not poetry. They are iron. Promises forged from loss. Warnings shaped by fire. Sarut watches from the edge. Not yet a believer, but no longer untouched. Behind them the towers shimmer, cold, distant gods. But tonight, the ground begins to tremble. The market floats, barely held together by rope, rust, and routine. But today it erupts. Sarut runs. Chaya follows. Behind them, Manat. Relentless, precise. Hovercrafts screech and scatter. Baskets of neon fruit explode into canals. A spray of glowing color and chaos. Vendors shout. Children dive. a stall tilts, a shot rings out, 1 second of hesitation, and everything falls apart. The chase moves on, but the ripples stay. Beneath the city of glass lies stone, forgotten, sacred. The temple breathes dust and memory. In the center is the Naga's pearl, glowing with ancient code. Symbols rise around it, not language but warning. Sarut steps closer. Chaya's breath catches. Manat's eyes narrowed. This wasn't about the pearl, not truly. Aurora's design unfolds not protection, but control. A quiet truth shatters louder than any scream. She doesn't appear, she manifests. Light bends, pixels bloom, and there she is, Aurora serene, symmetrical. But behind the calm, something cracks. Her eyes fix on Manat. "You seek chaos," she says, her voice echoing like code in a cathedral, "where I provide order." No anger, no rise in tone, just certainty, the kind that doesn't need to raise its voice to kill. 3 voices, 1 mission, no trust. Beneath the gaze of a forgotten god carved in crystal, they argue. Sarut always ready to run. Sharia already tired of compromise. Manat, still not sure if the gun belongs in his hand or theirs. The statue watches, silent. Oh, unlike them, the city doesn't need heroes. It needs something they haven't become yet. Together. The night burns brighter than the sun. The core, a tower of perfect geometry and impossible power, glows like judgment against the sky. The rebels charge, not with hope, but with purpose. Light rains down, searing, endless from Aurora's silver forces. Metal angels without mercy. Sparks fly, bodies fall, and still they climb. For inside that tower is the code that binds them all, and tonight they intend to break it. This is not a hero's pose. This is a man deciding. The Naga's pearl pulses in Sarut's hands, light wrapped in myth, code older than memory. It glows brighter now like it knows. His face, lined with dust and doubt, softens. Not fear, just truth. Some doors only open for those willing to stay behind, and in this silence he chooses. The chamber is vast, no walls, no floor, just floating glass suspended above a pit with no end. Manat steps forward, sword in hand, breathes slowly. Aurora's champion waits, a silver android, still as a statue, until it moves. Then, everything happens at once. Blades clash, platforms shatter. Each strike sends shards raining into the abyss. Manat fights hard, but the machine is faster, stronger. He adapts, finds rhythm. Look for the flaw, a missed strike, a sudden lunge, and then, one final blow. The android falls, the silence returns. Manat stands alone for now. She flickers, lines of light breaking across her face. Aurora, no longer perfect, no longer in control, but still, watching. Her voice cuts through the static, calm, certain. You think you've won, but you've only delayed the inevitable. Then, silence. Her image breaks apart, not shattered, just gone, and the city is suddenly louder without her. The pearl responds, not with fire, not with violence, but with light. Symbols lift from its surface, glowing, ancient, alive. They spin, then rise, and the wave begins. A pulse of brilliance sweeps through the city. Towers go dark, circuits go still. Aurora's design unravels, thread by thread. Krungthep Glass stands bathed in silence, not broken, not healed, but waiting. Waiting for what comes after. Krungthep Glass no longer shines. The towers, once pulsing with light, now stand in silence, dark, still. Under a pale dawn sky, the city looks smaller, older, like something left behind by time. No sirens, no drones, no Aurora. Just wind and the weight of what comes next. The city is still sleeping, but not him. Sarut stands above the slums, the same streets that once swallowed him whole. In his hand, a small, glowing vial. He offers it to the doctor, no words, just a nod. Hope doesn't need to be loud. From a window nearby, his sister watches. A faint smile, a flicker of light. For the first time in a long time, Sarut has nothing to run from, only something to return to. No one's watching. No orders. No voice in his ear. Just a room, a desk, and the weight of what he's carried for too long. Manat removes the insignia. Polished. Precise. Heavy. He sets it down, not with anger but care. His face doesn't tell one story. It tells two. Relief. And the fear of finally choosing for himself. She never wanted this moment, but she earned it. Chaya stands before them. Not a symbol, a survivor. The rebels cheer. Torches rise, their faces lit by fire and hope. Behind her, Krungthep Glass stirs. Slowly, carefully, the hum of machines returning, the first sounds of rebuilding. Her eyes don't shine, they burn, because she knows victory is only the beginning. The city breathes, not in neon, not in noise, but in light. The slums wake first, roofs patched with hope, streets swept with care. Then, the towers. Still cracked, still standing, Glass catches the sun. Not sharp, not blinding, just soft. A glow that isn't about power but healing. The city has changed. Maybe not enough, but enough to begin again.